Okay. First thing is that it's clearly way too fast. And second thing is that your uh, you need to work on your poses a lot more because you should really be moving every body part in every pose. So let's take a look at those two things in the Maya file. Let's see if this is working for us. Looks like it is. So right now, I mean, at 24 frames a second, this whole thing is what, 2 seconds? So I think this could be more like maybe 10 seconds, or something like that. Let's start with that. So at 240 frames, and I can hold down Shift and drag over these, and then scale it out. Maybe it's not the full 10 seconds, but let's look at that. And then right mouse click, snap, so the keyframes are on whole numbers. Okay, let's look at the timing now. That first part still seems super fast. Um, okay, so yeah, one of the first things here is why am I not seeing the curves? Oh, I thought those were off. Sorry. Um, let's parent these to the hands while they're in the right spot. So I'll take this object and shift select. So the child, this can be the parent, and P. And then let's also delete any animation off this, edit delete by type channels. And same here, child, parent, P, and edit delete by type channels. Okay. Now, the objects, well, what was that craziness at the beginning? Some issue with the camera. Oh, I know. So you have a bunch of camera cuts, and I didn't manage to scale that with the animation. Well, I think there's way too many camera cuts anyway, so I'm just going to take these out. But you could have had that selected when you scale out the animation. Okay, and I don't think you need to do the zoom in thing. All right, the other thing I was talking about is that every pose should adjust every or nearly every control. And also, she's just very, you haven't adjusted almost any of these, so you really need to look at your poses and adjust stuff. So, for example, let's go to this pose. Maybe, or this hip is tilted, and maybe, this is tilted back a bit. Maybe the weight is shifted a little bit over one leg. Just as an example, I have auto keyframe on, so those should all be keyframing. I mean, already you can see, this one's a bit too stiff, but are these? They don't look like they have been snapped to the. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I guess they are. Yeah, and so maybe, for example, maybe if she's shifted over this one, and then this one, maybe she could be shifted over the other. Whoops. Over the other leg, and maybe tilted this way. Maybe these are tilted back the other way. Just as an example. Just want to zoom in and see something here. Oh yeah, okay. Um, that didn't seem to really take. Oh, I think maybe this and these can be tilted back. I mean, that's just one example, but see how it's already looking much more interesting when she's kind of shifting around a little bit. It's a bit exaggerated the way I've done it, but just to make the point, you know, you can't just leave the rest of the bodies still and step the arms around. And maybe she even takes a step forward and a step back, and goes kind of and translates, kind of up and down between those steps forward and back. So you've got to really involve the whole body in the pose. Make sure you're looking at video reference, really notice what the body does. So, often in animation you have to exaggerate stuff a little bit, but you can't just leave the root, this should move between every pose. That's the most important control. I don't care about the arms compared to the root or the hands or any of that stuff. It's the root that matters the most of everything. So make sure you're moving the root between each pose. We're adjusting the spine and the neck and the head. Sometimes animators will hide the arms and legs and just animate the root and the neck and the head first, and then just get the arms and legs to work with that, because that's the core of the body. That's what matters. That's where most of the expression comes from. Um, and yeah, so, but it's a good start, and you got your scene working, so that's good. I would definitely simplify the camera too, and obviously, yeah, I showed you scaling out the animation. It's got to be, what you did in 2 seconds is going to be closer to 10, I think.